So I'm going to be doing a full rating predictions for next year's Chelsea squad.
If you guys are looking for some cheap FIFA 20 coins, head over to u7buy.com. You can buy coins off the website. You can also buy players. So if you wanted Messi, you could buy him off the website. Make sure to use code MUZZ at checkout for 5% off.
Yes lads, and welcome back to a brand new video. So today I'm doing something a little bit different, and this is hopefully going to be a series that I'm going to be doing over the next few months, because there's not going to be much content on FIFA 20 and I'm not too sure what to actually upload. So I've managed to come up with this idea of doing a Chelsea rating prediction. I've included all the transfer rumours / players we've already signed, obviously, and I've included a few players that could potentially get sold, but I'll let you guys know if they're going to get sold or not, or whether I think they should get sold or not. So jumping into the goalkeeper spot, we have got 81 rated Kepa. So I did go with a downgrade for Kepa. I went with a -3 downgrade. I tried to be realistic with EA's terms. I would go -15 at least, because this guy's cost us like 15 plus points this season, and we'd honestly be near City in my opinion. We'd be nearly second. Kepa's cost us so many games, so I'm going with a -3. By the way guys, today's like target is going to be a little bit higher than usual. Usually we just go boring like 30, but you guys, like, I feel like when I go low, you guys just can't be asked to click the like button. Anyway, jumping into the next position, we have got the right back spot. So our right back spots are honestly so solid. We've got Azpilicueta and Reece James. I'll get into Reece James in a second, but Azpilicueta, Mr. Consistent. A few seasons back it was looking like he was slowing down. He didn't look anywhere near as good. Wingers were beating him easily. And the past two seasons especially this season as well, he has just been one of our most consistent players all season. Like 7 out of 10 majority games, 8 out of 10. I love him when he fills in at centre-back as well, with the 3 at the back. So I didn't know what position to go with him, so I went with a right-back spot. He has played left-back, he's played right-back, and he's also played centre-back. That's versatile, bro. He is versatile. But I think majority of next season we probably will play 4 at the back, maybe 3 at the back against the bigger teams. But with the players that we could potentially sign, I think we will be playing a 4 at the back. So into the next position, we have got Reece James. I put him as a non-rare. I tried to be as unbiased as possible. So I am a Chelsea fan, if you don't know. Reece James is probably my favourite player at the minute. I think he was like a 73 rated non-rare silver. 73, so I went with a fairly decent upgrade. I tried to be realistic, so I went with a non-rare 77 rated. He could quite easily be higher rated. If you compare him to other players that are this rated, I think he's a lot better, but hey, I think a lot of these players, Chelsea players, are going to get January upgrades anyway. So Reece James, I absolutely love in real life. What a card. Okay, I'm going to put these two together. We've got our 2 left backs. We've got Marcos Alonso and we've got Emerson. Disgusting! Emerson looked like unbelievable in the first few months for Chelsea. He was so sick, and then he got injured, and then, yeah, it just all downhill from there. I don't know what happened to him. As soon as he come back from injury, weren't sharp enough, weren't fit enough, just not good enough at all, and didn't look good enough at all. And Marcos Alonso, I put him as a downgrade. I downgraded Alonso. I kept Emerson the exact same because I felt like he had a good start, bad second half, and he had an injury, so I just thought I'd keep him the same. Alonso I went with a -1, mainly for the fact because his default position's left back. As a left back, Alonso, everyone knows he's not good enough, too slow, too lazy to play left back. He just can't be asked to defend, and he's a defender. So when he's at left wing back, I'd keep him as an 81. And I do think we should probably keep Alonso next year. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I like his experience and I like him a lot in the 3 at the back. A lot. And then to end it off, like I said, I was including transfer rumours / players we've already signed. So OBLAK, we are heavily linked with OBLAK. We do need a goalkeeper. Who do you guys think we should go in goal? In terms of availability, being as realistic as possible, who do we sign? The thing is, with OBLAK, Atletico Madrid do not have a choice whether we sign OBLAK or not, because if we go out and spend 100 million on OBLAK, basically Atletico Madrid have got a release clause on OBLAK for 120 million euros or something, which is like 100 mil. So if we spend 100 mil on OBLAK, I think he's like 27, age 27, so he can last to like maybe 35 hopefully in his prime. If there's a cheaper keeper out there, potentially I'd like to spend like 50, 60 mil, but I want them to be good enough. But I also want to spend extra on a defence. But at the same time, if you've got a better keeper behind you, I feel like it's a mindset thing with our defence. We've got some decent defenders. They're just so inconsistent. When you know you've got a guy with no risk behind you, I feel like it's just like a mindset thing. So if you had OBLAK behind you with our current defence, I think we'd honestly concede way less goals. So in a way, I'd say go out and spend it. It depends how big Abramovich is going to spend in the summer, in my opinion. The way we're selling players and stuff, we've got a lot of players to sell, boys. We've got Batshuayi, we've got Drinkwater. I could go on a long time. Van Ginkel. We've got so many players that we could sell for around 10 to 20 million. And that all adds up. That generally all adds up. And you've got to think we had the transfer ban as well. So we've had a full season without spending any money. So it's looking good for Chelsea. And not only that, we are putting the money into the right players, because previously, putting money into Kepa, Zappacosta, I've never heard of them in my life before we signed.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Okay, moving into the left-back spot. It's looking like we're not going to sign Chilwell now. Leicester are very adamant they're going to keep him, which is good news for us, in my opinion. I think English players overall are just overhyped and too expensive. So Tagliafico, 25 mil. Quick little stat. Had the most interceptions in the Champions League group stage. I've not watched loads of him. I've watched him in the Champions League. Watched him against Chelsea. But from stats-wise, from what I hear of people, I think 25 mil is a no-brainer. And I went with a +1 upgrade. I only went with a +1 upgrade because, like I said, I've not watched loads of him. I've seen highlights, but I can't really judge too much of highlights. So we're going with a +1. Okay, to speed it up, we're going to do it in 2 batches now, so 2 at once. So we've got Zuma and Rudiger. So Zuma, I actually went with a +1 because I think Zuma's been one of our best centre-backs. And then Rudiger, I feel like this one divides opinion. I don't know how it does. And if you rate Rudiger, in my opinion, you don't watch Chelsea, or you don't watch the full game. You're on your phone halfway through watching the Chelsea game, because if you rate Rudiger, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching. The guy, he's just awful. He lacks concentration. His passing is so dodgy at times. But like I said, whether or not a better keeper behind him with more confidence, would that make him better? Maybe, I don't know. But for me, I just don't rate Rudiger. I'd be happy if we sold him. Jumping into our next 2 centre-backs, we have got Tomori, who I went with a +2, which might be a little bit generous. And I went with Christensen, which I found Christensen's rating really hard to predict. And Chelsea fans, I'd like to know what you'd go for Christensen. I think Christensen's, I don't want to say similar to Rudiger. I think he's slightly better than Rudiger. But Christensen's very inconsistent too. He can be very good, Christensen. He looks very composed at times, and then at other times he'll switch off. And then to finish it off, we have got Declan Rice. And I know, before you say oh, he's not a centre-back, I know. He plays CDM for West Ham. And he looks sick. He has improved a lot over the last season or so. I think he's best position is CDM though. He's decent on the ball. He's actually very decent on the ball. And what a banger he scored the other day. 43 shooting. Hey, he didn't shoot along often enough. He even said that in one of his interviews. So, okay, we jump into the midfield. We start off with Jorginho, and once again, this guy divides so many opinions. It's crazy. He's the definition of a player. When the team's playing well, he plays well, and he looks terrible when everyone around him plays bad, because his job is to literally just quick pass, like 1-2 one-touch passing. I think defensively he's not good enough really. It's looking like Lampard may sell him. I don't know. He has been playing recently with Kovacic. Obviously, we've been playing 5 at the back with 2 in midfield, and he was very good against United. So often, man, like when he's caught a position, he is one of the slowest players I have ever seen to recover to the ball. I kept him as an 83. I don't think he's been amazing. I don't think he's worth a downgrade. Just bog standard 83. Happy days. Okay, jumping into the exciting ones, we have got N'Golo Kante and Kovacic. We'll start with Kante. I have gone with a -1 downgrade. But he's aged 29 now, so he's coming to the end of his career, and he's had 2 injuries this season already, 2 big injuries as well. Where he didn't start the season. I think he missed a few months of the first, God knows how many games, like 10 games or so, because he was injured, and then he played the middle half of the season, and then he's injured again for the back end. So if he keeps with these injuries, man, and he's aged 29 now, so if we can get some good cash for him, in my opinion, cash in. Potentially buy like an Ndidi who's like 23 years old, and Ndidi, I love Ndidi. And obviously Kovacic, in my opinion, Chelsea's player of the year. You guys are lucky I went with an 84. I tried to be as unbiased as possible. I sat there thinking for a while, do I go 84, 85? He had an 82 last year, so I went with a +2. I think potentially an 85. I think 84 is more realistic to what a year would go with. Like one of the best dribblers I've seen in the Prem, genuinely. His close ball dribbling is outrageous. He generally sticks to his foot. On a whole, very solid, and my player of the year for sure. And I wish I could have gone with an 85, but hey, you guys are lucky I went with an 84. Okay, into the next 2, we have got Mason Mount and Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley's another one where I feel like a lot of fans actually rate him, and my brother rates him very highly as well. I just don't rate Ross Barkley at all. I don't think he's a bad player, I just think he's so average. And then moving into Mason Mount, I went with a +2 upgrade, which a lot of people may disagree with, but I feel like this is another one where you have to watch him to see how good he is, because I know he doesn't bring a lot of stats, but his work rate, he is non-stop all game. I went with a +2 for Havertz. Wow, I can't believe this. And by the way, I think this is almost a guaranteed signing. If he doesn't come to Chelsea, this is going to be one of the biggest L's we'll ever take, because for the last 2 or 3 weeks, all my Twitter feeds waking up every day has been like, Havertz close to Chelsea, he is signing this week, and then we've still not signed him, but apparently Chelsea are keeping it a secret. We've already signed him. It's looking like we've already signed him because Leroy Sané actually announced in a press conference that Havertz has gone to the Premier League. Moving into the next player, we have got a silver. We've got Billy Gilmore. I'd have liked to upgraded him a lot more. He was a 62 bronze. I don't really know how EA upgrade bronzes. From a 62, what do I go to? I went with a +8. Moving into the next two, we've got some more central midfielders. We have got Loftus-Cheek and Ampadu. From what I've seen of Ampadu, I used to watch a lot of him. I've seen him for Wales as well. I think he played CDM for Wales that game. I don't know if you guys can remember the game I'm on about, but he looks so sick. And Loftus-Cheek, this is a guy that I beg, this is not a player that us Chelsea fans are constantly saying where, like, this guy could be insane, man. Like, the glimpses we see of him. I remember last season? I can't remember, but it was against Man City, and some of the plays he was doing, like when he's dribbling at the ball at pace with the ball, wow, he looks insane. He looks unstoppable generally. Big physical guy, like, oh my god. Since coming back from injury after lockdown, he looks cautious. He's playing too safe. Moving into the winger spot, and this might be a bit confusing to you. There's going to be a lot of wingers involved here, but I'm going to explain to you as it goes on. We have got Pulisic and we've got Ben Rama. And Ben Rama we've been linked with. A lot of big clubs are linked with Ben Rama. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's from Brentford. Plays left wing for Brentford. For how good he looks and some of the goals he's scoring is mad. So I think we should probably do it. If we sell like Batshuayi maybe for 20, 25, Drinkwater for like 10, I don't know. Again, all those pounds will add up. Ben Rama on the wing. And obviously Pulisic. I went with a +2 for Pulisic. Because I weren't reactionary. That's one thing I weren't reactionary. I could have quite easily gone 82 or 83. Because he has looked generally, right. Listen to my words. Don't get my words twisted here. One of, not the best, but one of the best in the Prem. Not the best, but one of the best in the Prem since after lockdown. He has looked outrageous. The fact that me and my brother have been comparing this guy to Hazard shows how good he's been doing. And then to finish off this little page, we have got Willian. So Willian is a little bit of a tricky one. So obviously we're getting rid of Pedro. He's already gone to Roma at the end of the season. So that's one winger down. Willian's contract ends this season. He has been offered a 2-year contract. Yeah, the 2-year contract. He wants a 3-year contract. But Willian's like adamant. I think he's quite stubborn. And I don't think he's willing to accept the 2-year deal. So it's looking like Willian is going to leave on a free, which is outrageous. He's a frustrating player because his end product and his decision making at times is terrible. But more of a squad player. I don't think he'll start next season. But if we were to sign a contract with him, get him as a squad player. And then I believe this is the final page. So just in case Willian does leave, we're obviously going to have Hudson-Odoi. I went with a +1 upgrade. I think this was quite a generous +1 upgrade because Hudson-Odoi actually had a huge injury. Jumping into the next two players, we have got Ziyech, who is my most exciting side in my opinion. I cannot wait to see what Ziyech is like. And then jumping into Giroud, the man. Get some respect on Giroud's name. Get some respect on this guy's name. I almost went with a +2 upgrade, but I feel like that's maybe... I'm pushing my luck a little bit. But I've gone from an 82 to an 83. This is deserved, man. Leading into the last two. This is the last two, boys. We've got Tammy Abraham and our new signing, Mr. T. Mo Werner. He was a 76. I went with a +4. But hear me out. The start of the season, he was insane. Scoring hat-tricks. He's got a hat-trick against Wolves. He was banging the goals in. Not scored a single penalty as well. And he's on 15 goals. 15 goals, man. And he's not scored a single penalty. And you've got to think, he's not started a lot of the second half. But the second half of the season, he has struggled a lot. He has looked awful at times. He has been one of the most frustrating players to watch. And then finally, we've got Timo Werner. I went from an 86 to an 88 because this guy just bags goals for fun. He's the one Chelsea signing, though, out of Ziyech, Havertz and Werner. He's the one that I'm a little bit like... Is he going to be good in the Prem? Because the reason why is I watched him at the World Cup when teams were sat back against him parking the bus. He wasn't involved at all, basically. They're all my predicted ratings, boys. Let me know your thoughts on them all. I've tried to be as unbiased as possible. I've maybe been a little bit unrealistic with some of them. Some of them were pretty hard to predict. And here we do have it, boys. My predicted, well, not predicted lineup. This is not necessarily the lineup I want. This is like a lineup that if someone pointed a gun to my head... I'd give you this lineup, but honestly I think what Lampard's going to do is just rotate every game, which is completely fair enough. I don't think there's a set lineup. If I had to give a set lineup though, I would go with this. OBLAK in goal, we've got Declan Rice and Zuma at centre back, we've got Reece James at right back, which Honestly, Azpilicueta's been so good, so how can I leave Azpilicueta out? Azpilicueta's been so good. 50-50 between them two, so Reece James is one of my favourite players, so I went with Reece James. Left back Tagliafico, look at that back four, it's already improved there. OBLAK and goals, sick. Went with 2 CDMs of if Kante can stay fit, obviously Kante and Kovacic. We're playing like sort of like a 4-3-3/4-2-3-1. And then on the wings we have got Pulisic and Ziyech with Havertz as like a more of an attacking mid, and then Werner up top. So what do you guys think of that lineup? Is that unrealistic? It probably is, but that's if all the rumours become true. It's not far off though, because you've got to think, if we do sign a goalkeeper, whether it's OBLAK, whether it's, I don't even know who we're going to get. I honestly have no idea. But if we do get OBLAK, I don't know about centre-back. I really don't know if we're going to sign a centre-back. That's the only issue. But the fact that I've left out so many, Hudson-Odoi, Giroud, Mason Mount. Like Mason Mount does not deserve to get dropped. But where do you put Mason Mount? Do you put him in over Havertz? I don't think so. You can't really put him over like a CDM. So it's a tough one. It's a good problem to have because our depth's insane. But there we do have it, boys. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Anyway, if you would like me to do another team like United, Liverpool, I'll probably only do the top 6. Maybe I'll do some other leagues as well. But I've only really watched the top 6. And I've only watched the bottom 10 or so here and there. I've mainly only watched the top 6 this season. I'm not going to lie, boys. So I only want to rate players that I've actually watched on a whole. So if you guys could drop a like anyway. Like I said, 50 likes would be sick. Jobs would be if you're new. Let me know your thoughts on all these ratings. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.